Welcome to the January 2016 Director's Address. I want to start off this address with the Happy New Year for 2016. I do recommend that you pay attention to this. There will be some written questions at the very back end of this on the toolkit to ensure that you've actually watched this. I kind of did this with I put the training videos out for everybody. I gave them a piece of paper, and then now when I'm kind of asking spot questions about that, I'm finding that maybe people didn't watch the videos as closely as they could have. So there will be some test questions. First is your deep breath. Go to your happy place. Prepare to take in the information that is presented. I talked a lot about in 2015 about axioms. They're posted on the wall. They're in the policy manual now for 2016. For my definition, there's several definitions for axioms. My definition for this is an established rule, principle, or law. Some synonyms are precept, fundamental, law, moral, truism, and truth. I think of axiom as common sense. These are common sense things that we do. These are basic principles, basic building blocks for why we are here. So when I talk about the axioms for Andrew County, the 6 of them are to be prepared, to be a patient advocate, to be a district advocate, to be a community advocate, to be a team advocate, and to do the right thing for the situation. One of my first programs for 2016 is called Prepared 2016. This is something that's going to go on behind the scenes at swimming pools, and this was what kind of gave me this idea because I thought this was awesome. Swimming pools, they have a floating dummy that occasionally they'll throw in the water just to keep their lifeguards on their tippy toes so they can't be resting back on their laurels. They always need to be prepared. So in 2016, you're going to see dummies laid out and crews having to respond to a scenario. We'll do an oral scenario station just like you did in your EMT and paramedic state testing. And then after we're done, we'll talk about it. I have many other ideas. You might have to write out a protocol. You might have to explain something to me. I might just ask off the top of your head, explain to me the contraindications for CPAP. And the first way to ensure that you're prepared is to make sure your truck is ready and you were ready. I put this slide here to remind me to tell everyone that this is not just my craziness in this Prepared 2016. This was actually requested by several of the staff members in your surveys, that you didn't feel we do enough hands-on, that you didn't feel we were as prepared and as ready as we should be, and that's why this program is partially in place. When we speak of the trucks, there's a lot of paperwork that's not being filled out correctly. The mileage, there's a monthly mileage that needs to be logged in the log sheet in every ambulance. So in the front of the ambulance on the first day of the month, you should go in there and write the mileage down for that month. Anytime any fluids are added to that ambulance or anything's done to that ambulance, that should be logged in that logbook. Also, outdates I'm finding are not being done correctly. When we talk about outdates, I'm going to get my little pen loaded up here. Pen. When I come here to nebulizers, I'm going to go and I'm going to look in the truck and I'm going to see nebulizer. There's supposed to be 2. There are 2. I don't have to write anything else. But when I get down to albuterol, oh, there's only 2. Okay, well, let's say I need to add 2. Well, I can't add 2 because there's only 1 on the shelf. So there's 1 on the shelf. I'm not subtracting any, and I don't have 1 in stock. So if there's something you don't have put back on that truck for any reason, it needs to go under no stock. And then you put the expiration date. If you have an Atrovents and you have 2 Atrovents on the truck, and you're going to add, let's say both of those are outdated. So you have 2. We're actually going to add 4 because that's how many they're supposed to be, and we subtracted 2. So adding and subtracting everything should equal the par by the time you're done. The main category that I'm looking for is this category here, this not in stock. I should be able to look at the quick glance at the lists and see that if something's out of stock, that we need to order it. If you find something on your truck that's not there, come into the stock room, stock it. If you don't have it for some reason, you need to put it on the board. If it's already written on the board, then you'll know it's out of stock and somebody else has found it also, and we're working on it. Refusals of care. I know the scenario of 5 people in a car wreck, nobody's hurt. Quick refusals in these situations. I totally understand that. That's it. There's no injuries. But I do want to point out that it is a liability to the district and your license every time you get a refusal. I hate refusals. I've had several that ended up being a full arrest later on in the day. Wasn't anything that I did. It just happens to be that's the way it worked out. Not only do I feel bad about it, but it puts the district at liability. I agree you cannot force people to go to the hospital, but we can do a better job of trying to convince them and protecting our licenses and our district by not getting as many refusals. We were up on percentages refusals. I think they're way too high. I'm still going to try to find out if I can find an average out from other places to see how that is, but we need to make sure that we are not causing the refusals. If there is anything wrong with the patient, we need to get a minimum of 3 attempts to get them to the hospital. Would you like to go to the hospital? Are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital? Are you positive we can't take you to the hospital? And then you need to document that as such. We also need a full set of vital signs. If they don't let you take vital signs, you need to mark it down on your refusal forms and need to sign additionally that they did not allow you to take vital signs. Have them initial it if you want to. Everybody will not go to the hospital, but it's the position of Andrew County Ambulance District that everyone that calls will be recommended transport. You are not doctors. You cannot make those decisions. Don't take the liability on your shoulders if you get somebody to refuse and you haven't done everything you absolutely can to not get them to go. Remember that we are emergency medical services. We are not doctors. We do not play one on the ambulance. It is our job to treat emergency conditions and take the patients to the hospital. We only fix a small amount of emergency things. This is partially mixed in with the refusals, but it's also a thought process in general. We don't have to fix every little thing about every little patient. Do the emergencies that we need and get them to the hospital. When we talk about medications, once you push a medicine, you cannot take it back. All medications have side effects and tons of precautions, and you need to make sure that you meet the indications and that you do not meet any of the contraindications in order to give that medicine. Capnography. Capnography is a wonderful thing. If you don't know what you're looking for in capnography, we need to get you some training. Let us know. You need to know what you're looking for. Anybody that's having shortness of breath should have capnography on. That's going to let you know whether they're just breathing normally or whether they are having bronchospasms, whether they are hyperventilating, hypoventilating, different things. If you use the capnography, and especially if you treat for the capnography, if you say, oh, the patient was having bronchospasms on capnography, that's the same as saying patient was having a STEMI on a 12 lead. You would naturally attach a 12 lead. You need to naturally attach the capnography reading to the documentation. CPAP. A major contraindication that I am seeing a lot on QA is decreased level of consciousness. And the basic rule is if they cannot remove that themselves, they should not be getting CPAP. That is in the documentation in the front of the CPAP package there's a little slip of paper, the insert, I guess is what it'd be called, says decreased LOC. If they can't remove themselves, it does not need to be on them. Vomiting is another one. If they're vomiting, you definitely don't want to put this suction cup to their face and keep all that vomit in there. If they're not breathing enough, or if their blood pressure is super low, those are also contraindications to the CPAP. 27 times in 2015, an EMT drove with the medic attending from Mosaic back to a nursing home or home. I'm stating again, EMTs can attend patients back as long as they don't have IV or ALS reason. This will be reviewed during the QA, and I've changed the QA forms today to those who will be alerted to me every time. The EMTs here, as it says at the very bottom, the EMTs are emergency medical technicians, not ambulance drivers. I'm not sure. I still remember back at St. Francis County, where I came from, when there was an incident and they stopped the EMTs from working patients. And they didn't work just returns, they worked scene calls to the hospital. And they were told for a short time that the board of directors said, you guys can't do that. And it was an uproar. I mean, they were screaming and fighting mad and threatening to quit and threatening to go other places because they were EMTs, not ambulance drivers. That's what we need here. That's enough said. I'm not saying anything more about that. 2 EMTs on a third truck. This came up as a question. Obviously, this is not the norm. I'd rather have an EMT and a paramedic always on a truck. And the first 2 primary trucks always will be. But if there's a third truck, I could see a situation where 2 EMTs are here picking up their checks or something, and the dispatcher says, oh my gosh, I have a third call. Can you guys go on it? Yes, the 2 EMTs can go on it, and they can actually transport the patient if they would like to, and need to, actually. If it is an ALS call, it's a serious call, mutual aid. We can go, we can start checking them out. If it's a full arrest, don't sit on the scene waiting for mutual aid. Load that patient up and meet mutual aid halfway there if we have to. So, to clarify, 2 EMTs, and they have to be our staff EMTs. If you're an EMT from another district, or you are not on staff here, but you live here, maybe you're one of our first responders who happens to be an EMT or a paramedic, that does not count. You have to be an Andrew County Ambulance District personnel. 2 EMTs. Trade time forms. I'm seeing this a lot. You get the top part filled out pretty good, but then when we get down to the down to the methods, whether it's trade time or whether it's a shift giveaway, I'm trying not to make 2 complete forms. But I need the person that's signing at the bottom to understand whether they are doing it under trade time or a shift giveaway. So initials have to be there. Whoever fills the top needs to initial the A on the bottom, the trade time. Alright, I had to step away for a second. Now I'm back. So basically, on the trade time, you have to make sure that the person that's on A, which it says A up at the top there, needs to sign on the blank for A, and then the person on the B on the bottom would sign on the same line, whether it's a trade time or a shift giveaway. Crew signature forms. It is the responsibility of the person writing the form to make sure that both partners sign the crew signature form. These are left in the drawer too many times saying, oh, well, so-and-so left, and they didn't sign. No, you need to make sure that you sign them. If you have to wake them up, that's fine. My suggestion is have them sign it before they lay down, as soon as you guys get back from a call. That's my suggestion, but these do not need to be sitting in the drawers waiting for signatures. Transport reason. The transport reason at the bottom of the narrative where patients transport. This will help the billing staff prepare the trip. If this is missing, it's going to come back to you. We have to have this, and also keep it simple. This is something that the billing staff is going to be using to help judge how they're going to bill it. Please don't get inventive with it. Keep it simple, make it clear to them, and let's just get it done. Under the team advocacy, this was brought up to me by a couple people actually. When the supervisors or myself relay something, it needs to be done. If there's time and we can more than willing to explain why. But uh, please get an explanation before you give attitude. We have that a lot. We say, hey, we need such and such done. Why? Or whatever. You shouldn't need that. Or I don't think you should do that. We don't do that at other places. It doesn't matter. This is the way we do it in Andrew County. If you would like to try to change that, there's channels and methods to do that. But taking it out on the messenger that's delivering it isn't cool. It's just not being a team advocate. And it's just darn right not cool. The beds need to be stripped each day. Take your linens to the linen place in the dirty utility. Remove the trash. Keep it clean for your next team member, please. Deep cleaning. I know that some may have different definitions of deep cleaning. I call it terminal cleaning. It means basically every part of it gets cleaned. In the ambulances, underneath the bench seats should be getting done. In the cabinets, everything should be removed from the cabinets. Everything needs to be wiped down. There should not be any dirt. This is the same thing with the building itself. If you're to deep clean the kitchen, stuff needs to be pulled out of the drawers. When you're done deep cleaning it, there should not be sticky stuff in the drawers. There should not be dust on the walls. There should not be, who knows, handprints on the door frames, whatever they may be. Take one day each time that you have to deep clean and clean that room thoroughly. Every nook and cranny. If it's the ambulance, disinfect every nook and cranny. Don't forget the front of the ambulance, the steering wheel, the microphones, anything that you touch on a regular basis should be terminally cleaned, deep cleaned. Hey, we're getting close to being done. Rumors. I've made one of my goals in 2016 to try to control some of the rumors. I do know there's a certain, when I think back, there's a certain amount of just general complaining about things. Obviously, everybody is not going to see the business the way I do. I understand this. I'm fine with this. But then there's a point. There's also a point in making up your own thoughts of why things are done versus just coming and asking about it. If you want to get mad about it, fine. Yeah, I'm open to a certain amount of dissension and having some issues with some things. But I want you to have a good understanding of what that is before you complain about it. If I hear you're complaining about something and I come to you and say, okay, well, explain it to me, and you'll be like, well, I don't really know all about it. I'm going to say, then why are you spreading the rumors about it? Why are you not coming and asking about it? This is what I'm asking for people to do. If you hear a rumor, don't perpetuate it. Come and ask about it. Come and find out about it. I'm open to tell you about it. I'm more than happy to. I will tell you, I don't make snap decisions, and that irritates some people, but it also protects me, and you should appreciate it, in my opinion, because I don't just jump. Now I'm open to change. If you got a better reason, or if I say, hey, we're doing it this way, and you say, well, have you thought about this? And I say, well, you know what, I really haven't. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. But if you want to just spread it between crew member to crew member and not bring it to me, then we're going to have issues. And it's actually against the policy to be causing dissension in the workplace. So don't do it. Only you can prevent forest fires, and that's the same way with rumors. Only you can prevent rumors. Come to me if you hear it, but I'm going to ask you, who'd you hear it from, so I can go to that person. So just be aware, if you say something to anybody, it could come back and you might have to be talking to me about it. Just be aware of that. Speaking of that, how can you contact me? You can text me. You can call me. You can write me a letter. You can ask a supervisor. You can ask me in person. You can send a toolkit, an e-box message. You can send me an email. There are plenty of communication methods at the ambulance district for you to get a hold of me. And I will say that if I'm here, if I'm busy, I will tell you, let me get back to you in a few minutes. I don't think I've done that very often, very many people, unless I'm on the phone. I am available. I know I'm in the corner. I can't move my office to the center of the building and have everything revolve around me. I'm dealing with where my office was when I got here. Come and see me. You're not bothering me. Will I stop what I'm doing? Yes, I will stop 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100. I will stop what I'm doing and try to visit with you some. And if I don't give you satisfaction, wait a half an hour and come back and try to talk to me again. If all those other methods fail, there's always carrier pigeon. Forward. I've been here 2 years now. I'm starting my 3rd year. We are moving forward. If I started day 1 again here, I would do things differently. But we can't do that, and I can't change the way I've done things. I've let things be lax because I didn't want to come in and give a culture shock and bring something that you guys weren't ready for. You guys all had issues with the past director, and I understand that, and I was sympathetic to that. But it's 2 years now. It's time. It's time to just forget about the past and move on. We have to. I've said it before. Really think about that. We've got to start being a team. We've got to start doing the things that we need to do. I'm not going off the deep end. Don't worry. I'm not sitting here and I'm not going to turn into Hitler overnight. But what I'm saying is, it is time to stop going backwards and going to the past and saying, well, I didn't really want to do this because that's the way we used to do. I don't care. We move forward. You want to bring your ideas in a constructive, positive manner, I'll be more than happy to work with you and try to see what's the best way to go about things. But it's going to be in a positive, forward manner. Bring it to me as a positive, passionate professional. Then we will have a ground to start working on it together. When I looked for my forward little sign here, I saw the bottom one and I just thought it was perfect. You don't have to know it all and be perfect and have it all figured out before you move forward. There's things that are going to be changing all the time. The dispatchers have gone through hell and back with all these different dispatcher reasons and some of the things we've changed. I've probably changed more things in dispatch and billing than I have ever on the road. So let's just move forward. I do appreciate it. I do like doing these presentations this manner rather than putting on a toolbox message or some of the other methods. I think this is more personal. It gives you, probably with the inflection of my voice, you can kind of hear what I think a little bit better than if you just read it. As I said at Christmas time, I do appreciate everybody. I think there's always things to tweak, but I think overall we have a great base. We have a great set of people, and I'm looking forward to 2016 being a positive year and doing a lot of great things here at Andrew County Ambulance. If you have any questions or you need anything, you know where I'm at. I'm in that little corner of the building. Come see me. Everybody have a wonderful day. Go take the test.